Okay, everyone, welcome back here to VR Master League. We're gonna start with our finish to the night with Blazing Claws versus Mozzies. And I guess if you're getting technical about it, this is a new day now officially for any and all Americans who may be left over watching these streams on the West Coast. It's now midnight, and we are ready to start here with these two teams. I'm Palidore on the cast again with PAMWOW at my side for our third game of the night on OCE. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, yeah, this will be our fourth game of the night. And Mozzies, they have already had a game that we actually casted over earlier against the Four Horsemen, and that was quite the game. And it'll be interesting to see now how Mozzies do against Blazing Claws.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we maybe lost one player, or maybe just went into spectators, saw him switch teams or something. But either way, getting ready to go there. Maybe just a dropout, it looks like, unfortunately. But Blazing Claws coming in here 2-16, and for Mozzies 11-7. Now Blazing Claws, we saw them in recent weeks as well. I mean, you know, struggling to get some of these games together. Of course, the last win there coming on the debut of sorts of that overtime podcast against the Pineapples. But nonetheless, I mean, we've seen in recent matches they have been looking better versus Breach and Clear. Just a week and a half or so ago, they went to 3 rounds against Breach and Clear. Breach and Clear, who we just saw here on this channel just about 15 minutes ago. So, you know, Blazing Claws getting better and better over the course of the season, looking to put it together against Mozzies. Meanwhile, for Mozzies, you know, just trying to close out the night 1-1, much like the Four Horsemen earlier on.
Yep, Blazing Claws certainly have made a name for themselves. And speaking of names, I believe in one of our previous casts over Blazing Claws, we had that whole old Jack Burden how to farm. You know that whole thing?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so every time I've been in the lobby in Echo, I've seen old Jack Burden, and I've kind of have like this approach to it. So I'll just be singing, and all he hears is old Jack Burden had a farm, like from like 10 miles away or something. I'm just slowly flying, it's slowly getting louder and louder. And it was like, I heard someone coming up towards me singing that song. So yeah, it's always good to see familiar faces in these teams,
and
especially within this community.
And familiar songs. That one's not going to get us a copyright strike, is it? Hope not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was great to see old Jack Burton. Something about that name just brings great joy to these casts. Actually, I could say the same for an awful lot of the names on these teams, just across the board. Really, they're very fun to say, fun to sing, fun to pun. Fun for Punda, the real Punda. Got Slamish, got Pix, and Real McKiller, Hustler, Ducks, and of course, Jack Burton. Great names all around. Blazing Claws and Mozzie, 2 great names of their own right and making their names known, most certainly here in Season 2. Amongst all the other rookie teams in the league, well, we got ourselves a rookie region. Not often you get to say that, but you know what? They've been coming along really well here as we work it down to the last couple weeks.
Yep, and also a quick thank you to everyone who's stopping by and chat. It's always great to read your messages, and say a quick wave is always also nice. We can see Bob in the chat with his wave, and he reckons Mozzie's MMR tanked after the game against TFH, which is I mean, TFH, they certainly have started out strong, and if I believe if TFH can...
I do want to point out, I wasn't joking earlier when I said we do have a caster named TFH, so that's going to get confusing after a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
In the Americas, one of the new casters we onboarded a few weeks ago, actually, also. But yes, we do have a caster, TFH, frequent caster of Onward. He is a player in Echo also, though, and has had a few casts in there as well. So that's I was kind of up and down on whether I was right or not, because I was thinking maybe I'm just having a dyslexic moment. Maybe it was THF, but no, it's TFH. So yeah.
Yep. All right. We'll try to avoid making shortening that. We'll just keep calling him the Four Horsemen.
Call them horsemen. Horsemen. Or horses.
Okay, cool.
Or men. Or four.
Horsemen. Okay. Well, all right. We'll call them. How about? Okay. We'll call them men.
Yes.
The men are right.
Wait, no. The knights who say knee. How about the horses who say nay? Yeah.
Okay. The horses who say nay. We're gonna extend the name.
Yes.
Yeah, just waiting on one more member from Mozzies to connect here before we head in. But the horses who say nay definitely had an impact on the MMR of Mozzies, unfortunately. But hey, they are a great team who have just rolled out here now, and they definitely already have a set chemistry. So as we also saw, I mean, they took a round from Leviathan, which is something unheard of within the Oceanic region. So definitely have already made a name for themselves, which we are trying to extend onto. But regardless, yeah, just a lot of stuff going on across the board within the Oceanic region.
Yeah, and mentioning teams making their names known, of course, goes to say, obviously forcing Leviathan into a third round there and really coming close to an even bigger upset potentially. But that's one way to make your name for sure, going against an undefeated team. Now, going into this week, we had mentioned the one undefeated team who's at least been present since week 1, that is, in Team Gravity, Team Joker, and Leviathan. Well, Team Joker, they lost their streak just a night ago versus Spaghetti. So talk about making names. I mean, you're talking about a Team Joker team who does not, much like Leviathan, they don't even see third rounds often except against Kangarillas historically in the last year or so. And yet, yeah, they lost to Spaghetti, and those are the kind of surprises that, I mean, surprising in a sense, obviously, because of the record, but it's also not surprising to simultaneously because of the talent level. Like, you see these teams really just pushing each other to the limits, and I always say it, on any given day, you know, within the similar divisions, if one team is just a little bit off their game and the other one is playing a little bit above their average, I mean, you're going to see those upsets occur.
And it feels like the hierarchy is beginning to collapse across all the regions here. Like, as Palidore said, like, Joker finally losing their streak, and Leviathan losing a round as well. It's all happening, and it makes the games more exciting to view. Honestly, I feel like when you know for a fact that these teams can bleed, then it makes it all too more exciting, because you know there's potential for the opposing team, unlike in a few situations where you'd see them line up of the match and you'd say, oh yeah, Leviathan's going to win, or oh yeah, Joker's going to win. You just easily assumed. But now with these newfound teams and these newfound talents uprising, certainly bringing a lot more attention and a lot more action to these games.
Yeah, and not trying to flex here, but just speaking from personal experience playing on Eclipse before, it was the same kind of thing. The thing is, you can be, you know, it's good for as long as you want, but the thing is, everyone is waiting for that first time, and once that seal is broken, that's the thing. You like you said, you're talking about watching a team bleed. You know, for a while, experiencing, you know, just a lot of success and not being defeated. But once it happens, man, do things suddenly, it's like a spark gets lit up in the community's eyes, and they're like, okay, we're hungry, and now we know we can make this happen sooner or later. So it's always of intrigue. I mean, make no mistake, it racked my nerves incredibly. It was you don't like that kind of pressure all the time, where you always have to be playing your best as a team, it feels like, or else people are just waiting to pile on you for that first loss. But I can understand and respect it at the same time. It's always a theme. Anytime you see a Joker game, anytime you have a Team Gravity game. Last season, anytime you had a Phantoms game, they went 24-0 in Europe in Season 1 of VRML. And then with Leviathan, I mean, you always want to see that streak broken, as long as it's not you. Basically, as long as you're not the streak being broken, then it makes for so much intrigue. And once it does happen, it's just, yeah, the floodgates, man. Floodgates open.
Yeah. And that's interesting. Like, 2 points from what you've made there. Like, what you said about that spark, like, as soon as it starts turning against you, I feel like when Leviathan found themselves losing that one round against I'm not going to say, I have to say the full name now, the Four Horsemen.
Hussein.
Yeah, Hussein. I feel like when that first round went over to them, there was like a bit of like a wall factor, you know. I feel like the team, the Leviathan, definitely felt a bit stirred up there for a second, getting into the third round. But yeah, as you said as well, when a team starts bleeding, I feel like all the sharks in the water smell that blood, and everyone's taking a look at that now. That they've certainly made a statement here. the horsemen. I keep forgetting what we call it. The four horsemen who nay.
Yeah, no, nay, yay,
No.
hey.
Yay.
Well, anyway. You know, I said just before we went live, hey, look, all 4 players are in the game for both teams, so we're not gonna have an overtime podcast for this match. I lied. It turned into one again, but we still have 5 minutes until the kind of the outer limits of the start time. So hopefully people get back into the game at some point soon. I do want to point out too, just real quick on kind of that topic though of you know, teams, you know, on the flip side, basically coming from like as a team who got beat or as a team who got taken to the 3rd round for the first time and or lost a streak. That's the big thing, is that, you know, teams can be very, very good, but the question is, and it's true for any sport, is what you do once you get to the top of the mountain, right? How getting there is one thing, but staying there is almost just as hard, if not harder in a way, because then all of a sudden, when you have those expectations, you have that scrutiny, the extra eyes on every single match, the extra fans, sure, but the extra detractors, definitely. So how you react as a team when you do finally face a bit more adversity than you're used to on a regular basis, how you respond, how you react, and that is in itself a story. That's going to be a story for Leviathan next time they face off against the Horsemen. It's going to be a story for Joker next time they face off against Spaghetti. That's the beauty of sports, though. It adds all to the fire and the fuel that we just love to, you know, love to get on these streams.
I can understand what you're saying here. I mean, once that spotlight's on you, once you're at the top of the mountain, I mean, everyone will be looking at you, and I feel like you never wonder, okay, well, if Mozzie's getting into this game here, do you think they've studied their opponent and they're like, all right, this player usually does this, Hustler usually goes here, Dugsy. I feel like that's not something that very common that you would find within these games. But I mean, going against like Leviathan or going against Joker, they definitely would be at least acknowledging the opponent's existence, and I feel like that's definitely something you have to look out for when you're at the top of the mountain, like Palidore said, because the spotlight's on you, people will be looking for weaknesses, and I mean, as we saw earlier, some weaknesses have been exposed here across the board. I mean, things such as abusing clears to your advantage is certainly something that Leviathan aren't too strong with but just abusing the opponents is, I feel like, something that Leviathan do take advantage of. So what we saw earlier with Leviathan against the 4 horsemen who nay,
yes,
something that we saw there was that the horsemen were finally able to like answer back and abuse Leviathan for not being able to clear it to a proper extent, and they were able to answer back in that 2nd round. So I can understand from a lowly player's point of view, from Palidore's experience here, that when you're at the top of the mountain, certainly accumulates a lot of pressure at the same time.
And hence why I'm here at the caster's desk for the last year. Not really, well, partially, but yeah, no, it's definitely a different dynamic. But I will say the thing is too about that is just that, you know, there's no better feeling at the same time. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure playing team sports, team esports, what have you, but there's also no better feeling than being able to get to the top of the mountain or be able to accomplish whatever goals that your team does have in mind, whether it's just making it to the next division on the ladder, or whether it's beating this team that's been giving you trouble for weeks or for months. You know, whatever the short-term goals, medium-term, long-term, whatever it is, those are the things that once you conquer them as a team, it also brings you to really incredible highs that you can't get, you know, otherwise. You know, it's fun, and believe me, I get close on casting. I mean, there's some really exciting moments, and I definitely empathize to the degree that it makes me sweat and get the adrenaline going watching some of these games sometimes, but still can't do justice to accomplishing something with, you know, your three of your teammates here in the league.
Yep, and beginning this game, we have Mozzies who grabbed the disc finding its way close to the goal there, and we nearly opened up this game with 3 points going to Blazing Claws. A bit of a wild shot there. It's going to bounce off the nest, and that might be Pix finding the disc, but he's going to get punched out there by the real Makilo, who went for a long shot off the backboard, but Slamish did well, and Slamish has made quite a few good saves here. We've seen in his previous game as well against the Four Horsemen, so that's always great to see. And now Pix.
Yeah, so obviously, even though it's been a couple hours, 2.5 hours since their last match, they're still coming in pretty hot here, so showing the defense, trying to show the offense. That disc is just going to show itself to the floor, but now trying to maybe get one more attempt here with a handoff there to Cabbage Wrecker, and does complete the first play. 2 points, Mozzies' way.
And a great pass there from the real punter to Cabbage Wrecker. Caught Blazing Claws off guard there. I feel like they had sent 2 members to go for the intercept on that, but none to actually cover the goal. So that was Cabbage Wrecker able to abuse that and take that nice clean open shot goal and find 2 points. So now Blazing Claws with the just advantage, going for a clear here through to the right tunnel.
Yeah, it takes a few wild bounces, eventually finding the arms of Punda. Punda's able to get that clear as well, and right back to the intercepted hands here of Ducks. We just saw in that last match as well with Pineapples how it was, I'll refresh my memory now, Hollow, who was, backlining and getting a lot of success for the majority of that game. So that's going to be a story here, because you talked about the clears for these teams and who can get the better of them, but they got to watch out for exactly that. Now it's McKiller with a very, very deep intercept.
Yeah, but Makilla, a bit of an unfortunate clear there. It's going to bounce back and still work for Blazing Claws, I'd hope. But no, it's going to bounce just above the hands of Blazing Claws. And Mozzies with the disc now inside the bubble. And the real punter just able to abuse that bit of a fumble for the disc there from Blazing Claws. And just took it all the way in. And Mozzies finding these opening 4 points.
All right, so trying to respond now will be the side of Blazing Claws on offense once more as Mozzies roll out here on the defensive stack. Let's see what they do. Pretty speedy, but still getting off that pass attempt to the tunnel. But look at the redirects from Mozzies, able to get this disc back now.
And the real punter from through to the right tunnel. Bit of a miss pass there to Pix, but Pix is able to find it in the end. A nice slap there down to the trench. Didn't quite find his target in time, and Slamish still trying to recover it, but he's got pressure coming on him from the Hustler, and the Hustler able to grab that disc and send it right through to the midsection, barely avoiding barely avoiding Cabbage Wrecker there, who was going to funnel it back, and now Cabbage has some pressure on him, but finds the clear.
Yeah, and that'll roll around the tunnel a little bit and right back out again as it bounces towards the opposite wedge. Going to be placed right in the hands of Punda, but the goalie there in the orange zone going to maybe just cause a little hesitation, and it will actually be Cabbage Wrecker getting it back here for Mozzies, and a chance to score maybe, but good cutoffs defensively from Blazing Claws at Bowtie.
And now the real Punda trying to grab the disc there, gets stunned out himself, and Cabbage Wrecker with the disc in the end, passes it up to the left to the Slamish, and Slamish from the nest wasn't able to find the shot because Duck Z was there to stun him out and grab that disc and go for the clear through the midsection. Now the Hustler trying to grab this disc first. He's got Pix on him, went for the long shot.
Wow.
Oh my lord, off the top of the ring, nearly found its way in. That was a great shot, and the rebound came in, and another ding shot. 2 rebounds, 2 dings. Oh my lord, a lot of strong plays coming out from Blazing Claws.
Ooh, clever bounce there. I like that from Duck. Saw the stack coming into contest, so just bounced it over. Unfortunately, will be a turnover still yet to Punda and Mozzies. But yeah, that was so close. I mean, we saw good defense on one end, but then the offense just struggling to convert once, twice. Hustler, though, they're going to get another attempt maybe, but there's the aggression from Mozzies.
Yeah, Hustler went for the dusty play there, but he was able to get blocked out himself, and the disc going to bounce back and barely miss the defender there in the goals. That would be Duck Z attempting to hold this one, and indeed he does. Duck Z clearing it through to the right tunnel, and it's going to be Mozzies potentially looking for another response in the goals.
Well, rebound here will be just sent right back into the diving goalie. That's Ducks, so Ducks with plenty of these pickoffs, whether it's saves or just intercepts. Very much working it in the back line here, trying to deny these players. But number situation, unfortunately, this is going to be very, very tough. Ducks is getting assaulted, and they go for that score. 6 points, Mozzies, courtesy to Pix.
And you love to see those passes coming inside the bubble, especially when you have that man advantage. But something that I'm always questioning in my head, when you have that 3-man advantage and it's a 3 versus 1 inside that bubble, do you just send the member to the goalkeeper to get him stunned out and take those 2 points, or are you gonna go for these passes? Because although there usually would be a threat of the regrabs coming in from Blazing Claws to stop that, we're not seeing as many regrabs as much as we would want to within this game, and Mozzies taking advantage of this as they continue these attacks on the open goal. Oh my lord, a nice shot there from Pix, and it was an open goal, but yeah, Blazing Claws were unable to reach it barely in time.
8 meter 2 as well, so not just barely missing out on the 3 points, but I mean they're still ahead by a decent margin now, 8-0. Blazing Claws yet to break the seal on this round for the moment, but just to kind of get to your question a little bit there, yeah, well, it depend on the team obviously and kind of what the flow of the game is looking like. I mean, the thing is, if you're looking at on paper, the highest percentage goals you can possibly make in a game are going to be, what? Basically head on, like off the backboard from close range, if you can get those passes. They're going to be something directly in front, like a alley-oop pass to a dunker, you know, hanging onto the post, either at the top or the bottom of the goal, things like that. But of course, getting to that point, being able to, you know, make that pass available and then executing it is the other part. But if you can get it, as Cabbage Record does get the 10th point, if you can make those passes and do it with accuracy and confidence, then yeah, absolutely, because those are going to get you a lot higher percentage shots when you can just basically run loops around the goalie, making them turn their heads every which way in order to defend a shot attempt.
Yeah, you're right. I feel like it would matter heavily on how the flow of the game is feeling, and if you feel confident with these passes inside the bubble, if you know that there's no threat of any pressure from the opponent to cause you to just go for some safe dunks every now and then. But regardless, Mozzies with a 10-point lead here, and they're looking to hold on to it for the remainder of this round with 2 minutes 35 left on the clock. The Real Pondo outside the bubble, and a bit of a shot there, but it's going to unfortunately head back to the right there, and it's going to bounce back, and Blazing Claws finding the slap there to the left, but Cabbage Wrecker was ready for it and sending it right back to Slamish. Slamish on the nest now. He's going to get stunned out and unable to make a shot there, and another clear making its way.
And that was old Jack Burton, done some harm. E-I. Oh, my. Oh, taken by Mozzies now. It's Pix, 2 minutes left. And Hustler with that disc, needing to score here badly, if nothing else, for the sake of feeling a bit better going into the next round. But will be denied by some defense, slapped to the midline, where looking like a recovery here, actually from Hustler, slapping it back.
And that disc is going to find it right back to Pix, who sends it back, and back-to-back action here from both funnelers of the teams, and the disc is going to bounce its way back to Cabbage Wrecker. He's holding onto the disc now. He has the 10-point lead, and definitely has a player advantage from this pass here to the left now, and the regrabs might make their way in here from the Real Pondo and Cabbage Wrecker, who actually they're playing in a nice straight line formation here. They're looking to make passes. That's one pass there from Bowtie, and Cabbage Wrecker off the nest. A nice shot there outside the bubble. 3 points.
Yeah, really nice hit there for the Baker's dozen. 13 with 1:13 left in the first round. Definitely eyeing that victory here to start things off for Mozzies the right way. And you know, for Blazing Claws, again, main goal here is just to hit that intermission with a little bit of something you can feel good about on the offensive end, because you know, good as they're doing, getting on some of these stacks, just unable to really find the clears and get it through that midline defense. I mean, there's another snag here. Pix gonna drive that in handoff play. That was nice for the 2 points. What a great just look away handoff from Pix to Slamish. I like that a lot.
Yeah, those plays were definitely exactly what you want to see here coming from Mozzies. Definitely did well within that bubble, and a lot of awareness coming throughout from all the players there. And yeah, 15-0 lead, and I feel like although Blazing Claws are yet to find a point here, they definitely have had quite a few opportunities here on target and on goal. But yeah, just the pressure coming in from Mozzies, their regrabs, everything in general, just creating that pressure. And yeah, we actually saw quite a few dings as well coming from Blazing Claws, who are unable to just finalize any of these goals and any rebounds and all of the above there. So that's going to be Mozzies taking this first round 15-0.
Yeah, so Blazing Claws, with that said, need to use this next minute or so to their max and recognize, the goal is, or the point total resets. They can set themselves up for some more success. I mean, again, Mozzies are a team that is extremely talented here, 11 and 7, perhaps. Okay, yeah, 11 and 7. So the scores were input from that last match earlier, but I mean, really strong record. Clearly here, Blazing Claws, trying to get it together and find some success late in the season, and sometimes it takes time, but they have been getting better. Again, Breach and Clear taking them to 3 rounds just about a week and a half ago or so. I mean, they're certainly capable with, to start getting better, and we've seen week by week. I want to, point out over to North America in Season 1 of VRML just months ago. Okay, we had Team Galaxy. Now, Galaxy is still a thing, but understand this. They came into the season 1. They were there from the first week, okay? They started the season 0 and 15, okay? 0 and 15. They did not win games, but week by week, despite that record, definitely in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks or so, you started seeing it. I started seeing these changes, and I was calling it out on stream. The improvement was happening. Even though it wasn't resulting in the wins yet, it was happening. And then guess what? 0 and 15 start. They finished out the season winning 5 of their last 8. They even went to the qualifier cups and did some damage on some teams, right there competing for those playoff spots. And the thing is, it's the same roster. It's not like they made these dramatic shifts. It was the same roster. Well, guess what? That same Galaxy team now, they're in the Diamond division, I believe, this season with a very nice winning record. So, I mean, you are only a few weeks, a few months away, despite whatever records say, from being a legit team like Galaxy is. And I think for Blazing Claws, they can hit that same kind of approach here going into the end of this season and next season. Sorry, I rambled. But
No. That's really interesting. It definitely shows you how just as long as you got the hard work there and you're putting in the time, you definitely can improve regardless of what might have happened before your previous games. It all depends on you in the end of the day, whether you want to improve or not, and that's definitely what Galaxy has done here, and I feel like that's definitely what Mozzies are attempting to do here. I mean, Mozzies are similar to the Four Horsemen, attempting to win this second game of the day here. I mean, both teams lost the first game, and Mozzies looking for a redemption here as they clear it through to Blazing Claws, and now with the Real Killer with the disc.
Yeah, and I've said it so many times. I love casting, the master tier, the known commodities, obviously, but seeing the growth, the progression of these teams as they go for maybe a rebounded play. There's a Pix. Oh, but getting picked instead. Ducks taking a pick right there. Selfie at the goal and by himself on that save. Off to the other side of the floor, bouncing off and maybe near that goal, but collected by Pix. Right back though, Hustler with the hustle.
Hustler just coming in with the regrab and just stealing that disc right from the Mozzies and finding those opening 2 points there. And I feel like that attack coming from Mozzies earlier on, where we saw this, we had 3 people on Duck Z, but yet he remained unharmed as he was just able to quickly grab that disc and find the clear and the counter attack. And a bit of a struggle with the disc there as the Real Panda quickly grabs it. Old Jack Burton nearly found himself a disc there, but that's going to be a pass there to Slamish, and Slamish down to Pix, and Pix making his way in the bubble in a one-on-one situation.
Wow.
But Duck Z, yet again, another great save.
Duck Z, inhuman right now, I guess in more ways than one, but doing some work on the defensive end. I talked about earlier on, just a few minutes ago, you're only a few weeks away, a few months away from drastic improvement, but maybe for Blazing Claws, they're just a round away. I mean, on the defensive end, looking good and trying to hold them off one more time here, and they will. So nice, Ducks slapping it out.
Yeah, and something that definitely makes things like you're saying right now promising is just that, and a nice shot there, but it's going to be dinged off the post. But definitely something that can be noted is that when the improvements can be identified easily, like it's just things such as regrabbing and communication and the speed of which you like your passes connect and everything. I feel like when it's easy things that you can identify like this, it can certainly lead to great improvements as you go on. But as we can see here, Blazing Claws definitely holding on in the defense side there, and they've got the 2-point lead now, which is a bit of a change here from the momentum of the first round.
What an interesting change it is, because first round was 15-0. Mozzies here trying to break that 0 and maybe 0 in for a couple points, but just struggling to find the bottom of that goal. Have done the disc a few times off the pole, but they'll still get the rebound here. But I mean, yeah, drastic difference on the pace.
And a great steal there from Hustler right on the nest and sent it right back down into Mozzies, and that will be Hustler looking yet again to try grab that disc, but didn't quite get in time, and he's going to abuse the fact that that clear didn't go exactly where he had to go, and he was open there. I'm pretty sure that shot didn't have to be taken at that moment, but when you feel rushed, you feel rushed, and the Hustler definitely has done some work here, grabbing that disc inside the bubble, finding 2 points.
The rush and then the hush, saying, hey, you shut us out last round, we're going to try and shut you out this round. Blazing Claws snapping back here at Mozzies with some efficacy. And now, lower scoring match, but still a lot of good defense being played. They're getting more clears successfully, and they converted on that last one. So this is a really, really good news for Blazing Claws.
Yeah, and the real Punda, they're sending it down to Kopesh, but I'm sorry, not to Kopesh, to Slamish, barely missing him that way. And Pick's just going to be able to collect it and place it in the goal from a long shot, and didn't expect that one. Just quickly grabbed that disc and sent it on its way. And now 4-3 here, and Blazing Claws only having a 1-point lead at 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. You would, after all that struggle just to get their first goal in this round for Mozzies. Kind of, I guess, go figure that, yeah, their first one will be kind of an open 3 like that. So not the most expected one, but definitely the most welcome one, as long as you're a Mozzie player or Mozzie fan, as they try to maybe convert on another play here and sweep things with a pick by Slamish at mid.
Yep, and Slamish going for a pass here through to the right, and it's another one-on-one situation, but that will be Duxy in the end, extending out and clearing that with a slap. And Hustler now with a disc trying to make a play here. He's got 3 members behind him, and the regrabs will be coming on their way, so he has to go for the clear there, and a nice block there, and the disc nearly made its way inside the goal, but a bit of an unlucky bounce there, and that's going to be the real Punda in the end. Abusing the fact that there are no regrabs coming in from Blazing Claws to pressure that open disc. But as I say that, the 3 players of Blazing Claws making their way to pressure that, and Slamish now with the disc looking for a play on the goals. He's setting up potentially. The bounce is going to make its way down, and make missing the goals there.
Like I said, I think these players, most certainly more and more doing that very much on purpose, going for those corners, just to make the goalie turn around to get a grab on it. It still gives it a chance to go in. It still gives the offense a chance to rebound it. So definitely knowing where to place it, not only directly at the goal, but even just on the corners. That said, Slamish just doing what he's been doing all evening long and slaying it. Oh, but not able to slay that one, and the goal stays open and now covered off, but that was a missed opportunity there for Blazing Claws, trying to convert a second time, but no, Panda now will deny it.
Great saves coming across the board here from Mozzie. Slamish and Punda definitely putting in the work, but the shots coming from Old Jack Burton and Hustler definitely getting an impact within this game. I mean, the pressure is just enormous, and he might look for another shot here. The Hustler outside went for a pass here through to the right, but got stunned out there, and now Old Jack Burton looking to quickly grab this rebound off the wall. It's going to be the Room of Killer, but in the end, the real Punda going to grab it in the end and send it for a clear, and Mozzie's looking for a return here with 2 minutes 50 left on the clock.
It's so tough because a lot of these shots, I mean, we've seen it from both sides now, especially, but, you know, if that one was sunk by Blazing Claws, either of those 2 attempts were sunk, I mean, that would have just been huge as we approach these final 3 minutes to maybe force yet another, you know, potential round 3 here tonight. And it's still, any way you cut it, 15-0 favoring Mozzies in the first round. Blazing Claws have got to be thrilled with the fact that they've been able to hold down the fort on defense to this degree.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely has been a switch that we've witnessed here within the first round and second round here. Hustler trying to grab the disc, but Real Punda finding the stun there and went for the clear right before he was stunned. And now that disc is going to bounce right off the trench, and no regrabs coming in from Mozzies. So the Blazing Claws are going to be able to quickly grab that first before any pressure is generated there. And Rumor Killer sending it through to the left tunnel.
And, you know, that was largely credit to Jack Burton. Actually did a great job breaking up the stack in the back line enough to get the disc back for Blazing Claws, at least for a little bit now. Going back and forth on possession changes, but Real McKiller coming away with it, and losing it off a bit of a pinball effect as it just goes shooting out the hand, and Cabbage Wrecker with a disc now.
Yeah, now Cabbage Wrecker playing on the floor around the room. Kill a nice pass there to the real Pundo, makes his way inside the bubble. Micro for a shot, bounces off the left, went for the bounce. What? Excuse me? A bounce shot from there making its way in? The real Pundo, I'm not sure if you meant for that. It was a rebound. I don't know if you've practiced that in like, I don't know how long you've spent practicing that bounce, but it made its way in. Excuse me?
Well, it's funny. That was, remember when I was talking about earlier, those corner ones didn't take very long for that to happen. Now, I think that one wasn't on purpose. I think. I could be wrong. They could tell me later. I feel like it left the hand a little bit strange, but even then, it's still a thing that can happen. And at times, it is definitely with some purpose there, hitting those corners.
Yeah, a lot of these shots that have been made, I mean, some would assume they're just like lucky accidental shots that have been made. As we can see, Hustler making a play here potentially outside the bubble with 40 seconds left on the clock. And went for a pass there through to the left, but didn't have Hustler available at that time. He was playing around the pole, so Mozzie's going to find that slap, and with a 1-point lead and 30 seconds left on the clock, Blazing Claws certainly need to find a play here, but the real Punda going to bury that hope with the 3-pointer, 8-4 now.
Well, the Punda Express dining on some points and going to decline the round 3 here for Blazing Claws, but narrowly. I do mean narrowly. It was only off of that shot, on purpose or not. And again, if it was on purpose, hats off to you. But even if it wasn't, that one off the corner, the thing is, you mentioned it, like these... You see it on clears too. Sure, some luck gets thrown in, obviously, in any situation, but there's also a degree of skill and just kind of knowing just relative areas where you can paint it, you know, and still finding success. That's why you see a lot of these long-distance clears, full court, half court, that find its way in or very close, right? Like, yeah, it takes a degree of luck, but it's also kind of the game sense and the knowledge of, you know, the general area it should go to give it a chance to go in.
Blazing Claws have done so well within this second round from what we've seen here. Not taking any credit away from Mozzies, however, I mean, the defense from Mozzies was insane. Slamish and the real Punda putting in work within those saves, and Cabbage Wrecker and Pix as well. Everyone playing their part there, but yeah, Blazing Claws, I feel like they definitely did put in some work in that second round, and definitely have something to be proud of there. And yeah, I mean, a really good attempt there, and both teams definitely have something to be proud of and a really good match overall.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Mozzies, they'll be happy to now join the Four Horsemen there in finishing out their night 1-1, so just even up on the record. And for Blazing Claws, it goes back to, again, the whole Galaxy comparisons and such for Team Galaxy over in the Americas, where we're seeing things. Yeah, it's not translated to a win here tonight, but the parallels are pretty uncanny. It's just all it comes down to. So I think if they stick with it, I mean, that record is going to change before you know it, and you're gonna see Blazing Claws definitely start putting together some games, especially if they execute like they did overall at round 2. Just between, again, great defense and you know, getting more consistent clears and shot attempts. That stuff does add up over time and to a boiling point where then it's nothing but, you know, full steam ahead once it gets there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Mirror of Galaxy from the OCE region. I mean, we kind of saw like a micro version of it in this game. I mean, within the second round, it felt like it was a completely different matchup. I mean, Blazing Claws definitely held the lead there for quite a while there. I believe it was like 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and it was only until like the later half of that round when Mozzies were able to quickly pick up their game. But yeah, as you said earlier, I mean, over time, teams that may appear to be that might not translate their victories into rounds and everything, definitely over time we will see their skills and talents develop, and chemistry as well, and hopefully in the future we will be seeing you know, a bit of a mirror, like as you said, how Galaxy were able to right now they're in the Diamond League, Diamond ranking, you said. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see if anything like that can come out from this.
Oh yeah, and you know, looking forward to just the developments, the continued developments of all of that, for sure. And like I said earlier, just it is legitimately my favorite part of the league, of casting all these new teams, just finding out who's who and where they're going to go, and then seeing it happen slowly over time. It's I know even in season one, other teams who maybe weren't struggling as much, but were just kind of floating around maybe in bronze or in silver and in season one and working their way up through the ranks and really taking connoisseurs in the last few weeks of season one off guard as well. It's kind of fun on my end because I get to go into those games and say, look, I know what the ranks say, I know what the records say. Like me and Dimwee were kind of both on this at times where it's just it takes people time. It takes viewers and fans and other players time to kind of catch up with the curve sometimes. They'll look at the records and say, oh, well, this is going to be an easy win for this team. But then if you were watching those games in recent weeks or casting them like we were, you get to kind of have it in the back of your head and just, kind of little self-satisfaction. You're like, oh, you haven't seen this team lately. They could upset. And then sure enough, you see these late season upsets and just it's very, very fun to watch and kind of gratifying, I guess. What's the word? It's like you feel happy, you feel good indirectly. You're living vicariously. That's the phrase I was looking for through those teams because you can see them grow. And I was just checking it out now. Galaxy this season, 13-6 on the record.
Yeah,
and that's against some legit competition. So hats off. Anyway.
Yeah.
I want to point out.
I mean, hats off.
It wasn't long ago.
Yeah,
sorry, what wasn't long ago though that Team Joker was looked at. No pun intended, but people didn't take them seriously. They thought they were just jokes because of the way that they played and how young they were and how anti-meta they were. Well, guess what? Didn't take very long for that to completely turn on its head. So just saying, you always gotta be on your toes wherever you are in the league because there are teams right behind you who are gonna come up biting and fighting for that position.
And galloping. I mean, technical Rex in the chat.
Yes.
And technical Rex in the chat here, definitely a good effort coming here from Blazing Claws within this match. And yeah, as Palidore said, excited to see where they might be able to lead their team within the future games. I mean, definitely showing a lot of potential here across the board. Looking at the stats here, we've got Hustler with 4 points, 2 saves, 4 steals, and 40 stuns. Old Jack Burden with his 19 stuns. And Old Jack Burden definitely did set up quite a few plays there. As we saw, he did stun a lot of re-grabs coming in, and he also made an insane shot within the, I believe, near the end of the first round there. Bit of like a 180 action, nearly found its way in, so that was incredible to see. Also, the real Makilla with 1 assist, 2 saves, 1 steal, and 43 stuns. And Duck Z, who did extremely well as a keeper. I mean, 7 saves and 12 stuns. And then meanwhile, with Mozzies, we've got Cabbage Wrecker with 7 points, 2 assists, 1 save, and 17 stuns. Pix with 7 points as well, 2 assists as well, 2 steals, and 27 stuns. Then Slamish, who we saw quite a few, we saw quite a numerous amount of brilliant saves coming from him. Slamish found 2 points, 3 saves, 1 steal, and 8 stuns. And the real Punda with 7 points, 3 assists, 2 saves, 3 steals, and 30 stuns. And yeah, just saying again, I mean, all players definitely have performed well this game, and I feel like Blazing Claws, based on what I've seen from their previous games, they certainly are improving. And as Palidore said, only time will tell. I mean, if they're able to keep at it and keep these improvements going, I mean, in the long run, there is potential.
Absolutely, and can't wait to see that all happen in the near future. But until then, one last thanks to everyone in the Twitch chat for joining, for watching, viewing, whether it's live in VODs or otherwise. Thanks to, once more, our great league moderators, Wit, Nada, Gilligan, who stopped by earlier on these streams, Princess, Alacost, Sneaky, Evil, Echo Zero, Nano McFabulous. Shout out again to sponsors and ProTube VR, VR Cover, Rebuff Reality, Fixed Gaming, and VRware.net. And yeah, anything else? Side Night, cheers. Thanks for watching. Pun to PC, GG's, and Tech Rex as well. GG's earlier on. But yes, any last words there, PAMWOW, or shall we close?
Yeah, no, I mean, just a quick thanks to everyone who stopped by in Twitch chat. Palidore's already pretty much done that for me, but yeah, thanks from me. And thank you to Palidore for taking the time of day to help out with these OC casts. And yeah, that's it from me.
Oh, yeah, of course. My pleasure. And well, that's it for me as well. So I've been Palidore. That's been PAMWOW. And this has been another edition of Echo Overtime. Had to do it.
See you later, mates.
See ya. Mates.